We have a design flaw. A recent study published in Nature proved that when facing a problem, the human brain systematically looks for what it can add to solve it. It almost never thinks about what it can remove. Tired, you look for a supplement. Short on time, you look for a new app. Stagnating, you look for a new skill. This is the addition bias, and this reflex is exactly what saturates your life with noise, depth, and unnecessary complexity. But there is another way, a method used by great thinkers from the Stoics to the former trader and mathematician Nassim Taleb. It is called the Via Negativa. The principle is radical. To improve a system, it is infinitely more effective to remove what harms it rather than to add what helps it. Today, we aren't adding anything to your to-do list, we are going to subtract. And paradoxically, that is exactly why you are going to progress. The story goes that when the Pope asked Michelangelo how he carved a masterpiece like the David, he replied, "It's simple. I just stripped away everything that wasn't David." This is the essence of Via Negativa. Perfection is achieved not when there is nothing left to add, but when there is nothing left to take away. In modern life, we do the opposite. We are sculptors trying to improve the statue by sticking pieces of mud onto the marble. Taleb uses a key concept to explain why this is dangerous: iatrogenics. In medicine, iatrogenics refers to harm caused by the healer or the treatment itself. It's when the cure is worse than the disease. Historically, until the early 20th century, going to a doctor actually increased your chance of dying. Why? Because the doctors of that era desperately wanted to interfere in a complex system they didn't understand. They called it heroic medicine. The idea was that when facing illness, the doctor had to be the hero and act with brute force. Massive bloodletting, mercury purges, induced vomiting, inaction was seen as professional misconduct. The result? They killed more patients than they saved. It was heroic medicine that finished off George Washington. To treat a simple sore throat, his doctor drained 40% of his blood in a few hours. They confused agitation with healing. Things are much better now, but there are still major problems. An analysis by researchers at Johns Hopkins University, published in 2016, estimates that approximately 250,000 Americans die each year from medical errors. This would make it the third leading cause of death in US, right behind cancer and heart disease. And it's not limited to the US. In the UK, a large review of hospital records estimated that about 5% of hospital deaths had a 50% or greater chance of being preventable, often due to poor clinical monitoring, diagnostic errors, or medication mismanagement. And since global data is fuzzy regarding other countries, I let you imagine what the reality might be elsewhere. Apply this to your life. You're tired? You drink coffee. The coffee prevents you from sleeping. You take a sleeping pill. The pill makes you groggy in the morning. You drink coffee again. You have created a fragility loop. The Via Negativa consists of understanding the most natural systems. Your body, your psychology, your economy are antifragile. They know how to regulate themselves, provided we don't disturb them with toxic interventions. So the question is not which vitamin should I take to have energy, but what am I eating that is stealing my energy? Improvement by subtraction is more robust, simpler, and the results are often immediate. We are going to look at the 4 pillars of your life that need cleaning. Before we get to the practice, an important warning. I'm neither a doctor nor a financial advisor. I'm presenting a philosophy of life, not a prescription. In the logic of skin in the game, I do not suffer the consequence of your actions. You do. The Via Negativa requires intelligence. When I say eliminate medical interventionism, I'm talking about treating a cold or temporary fatigue, not stopping your insulin. Be realistic. If you have a medical condition or doubt, consult a pro. That being said, let's start the cleanup. Pillar 1. Your biology. Your body is an antifragile machine designed to survive in nature, not in an air-conditioned office filled with vending machines. Modernity has introduced interferences that disrupt your metabolism. The first thing to remove is socially accepted neurotoxins, tobacco and other stuff, and above all, alcohol. I know it's a cliché, but it's true. Here, we need to break a tenacious knit. For decades, studies sold us the famous G-curve, the seductive idea that those who drink a little the small glass of wine, live longer than those who don't drink at all. It is a statistical lie. It has been debunked. We realize that the group of abstainers in these studies included people who were already sick or recovering alcoholics whose body were damaged. The raw scientific reality is that there is no healthy dose. From the very first glass, you increase the noise in your system and degrade your sleep and recovery. If you want to apply Via Negativa, zero tolerance on this substance is the most powerful lever for your mental clarity. And if you have any doubt, the scientific journal The Lancet published a massive analysis of the burden of alcohol in 2018, covering 195 countries and territories, millions of people. Their conclusion is final. The level of consumption that minimizes health loss is zero. Zero. The myth of the healthy glass of wine died that day. The second thing is industrial food. And I'm not talking about a diet to lose weight. I'm talking about toxicity. The rule of Via Negativa applied to food is brutal but effective. If your great-grandmother wouldn't recognize it as food, don't eat it. Refined sugar, industrial seed oils, ultra-processed products are not food. They are aggressors. And recently, the United States government shared the new food pyramid, favoring unprocessed foods. What has been applied for years in the sports and fitness world is now becoming the norm. And that's a good thing. Every time you consume ultra-processed food, your body has to spend energy managing the inflammation they cause. Stop looking for the superfood or the miracle goji berry. Just remove the modern poisons from your plate and your energy level will rise mechanically. Do the test. Open your fridge, your cupboards, and look at what shouldn't be there. Next, remove constant thermal comfort. In some countries, we spend our lives in a comfortable bubble. AC in the summer, heating in the winter. Your body needs temperature variations to activate. This is called hormesis, a small stress that strengthens the system. By living constantly in comfort, you atrophy your adaptive capacities. You become fragile to the slightest draft. Turn down the heat. Instead of looking for that mental clarity in a third cup of coffee or medication, get it by subtracting heat. Finally, remove the chair. Sedentary life isn't a lack of sports. It is an active habit of destroying your posture in circulation. An hour of intense sports does not compensate 10 hours of immobility. Physiologists call this the active couch potato syndrome. People who do their workouts but spend the rest of the day sitting. Studies on sedentary behavior show that even if you do 1 hour of intense exercise, sitting most of the time keeps your risk of cardiovascular disease and diabetes abnormally high. Sitting time acts as an independent risk factor. The chair kills even athletes. It's like smoking a pack a day and running 20 minutes to compensate. I'm exaggerating a bit, but you get the point. The solution is not to add hours of gym time, but to remove the chair whenever possible. Walk, stand up, eliminate immobility. Once the body is purified, tackle the pollution of the mind. Your brain is not a garbage can for information. Before even talking about content, like news or social media, we must talk about the container, the smartphone. Here, Via Negativa imposes physical discipline. There is a fascinating study from the University of Texas that proved the concept of brain drain. Researchers showed that the simple presence of your smartphone in the room, even if it's off, even if it's face down, is enough to significantly reduce your cognitive capacity and working memory, because part of your brain is constantly on alert, actively occupied with ignoring the phone. It is a background task that consumes your mental RAM. The solution is not willpower, it is distance. If you want to produce deep work, the phone shouldn't be on silence. It should be in another room. It must cease to exist for your brain. And go further. Practice walking on empty. When you go out for a walk, leave a phone at home. It's terrifying for the modern human, but it is freedom for your brain. If you walk with a podcast or music, you aren't letting your mind rest. You are feeling it again. Remove the phone. Let your brain get bored. It is in this empty space that complex problems resolve themselves. Now a critical point. Radically suppress the news. I mean it. Cut everything. 20 hours news is an anxiogenic product calibrated to sell advertising. It floods your brain with noise to drown out the signal. Afraid of missing out? It's an illusion. If information is vital for your survival, a war, pandemic, a major crisis, the information will find you. Someone will talk about it at a coffee. Your mother will call you. Everything else is just toxic chatter that increases your cortisol. Also, Remove forecasters without skin in the game. Stop listening to economists or political scientists who don't pay the price when they are wrong. Their opinion is worthless because they have no personal risk involved. If they are wrong, you lose money. They keep their job. It is dangerous asymmetry. If someone gives you investment advice, don't ask, "What do you think?" Ask, "What is in your portfolio?" Researcher Philip Tetlock spent nearly 20 years analyzing over 80,000 predictions made by 284 political and economic experts. His verdict? Their average accuracy barely exceeds that of very simple models, statistically equivalent to a chimpanzee throwing darts at a target. Randomness does almost as well as they do. If they don't play with their own skin, cut the sound. Then, cure yourself of neomania. This is the sickly obsession with novelty. The latest book released, the latest trendy theory. It is often hot air. Apply the most powerful filter that exists. This is the Lindy effect. For ideas and books, life expectancy increases with age. A book that has been relevant for 50 years will probably still be relevant in 50 years. A book released 2 months ago will probably be forgotten next year. Stop reading the bestsellers of the year. Read what has survived. And finally, surprise, outrage. Social media algorithms have figured one thing out. Anger keeps you connected. They feed you content designed to piss you off. It is a useless anger that drains your energy without changing anything in the world. As soon as an account, a tweet, or a video tries to make you angry for nothing, block, mute, unsubscribe. Make the distinction between an account that touches you because the subject is sensitive to you and a Twitter account that is just there to annoy you, to monetize its visibility. Don't fall into the trap of following certain people just to get your daily dose of hate. Protect your attention as if it were your bank account. So don't let anyone steal it with fake controversies. You have cleaned your body and your mind. Now you must armor your environment. The goal is simple. Remove everything that makes you vulnerable to unforeseen shocks. First, eliminate debt. This is the absolute priority. Debt is the financial definition of fragility. Having debt means living with a sword of Damocles. As long as you own money, you do not own your time. The bank owns it. If a black swan event arrives, you lose your job, a crisis breaks out, you're going to have short nights. Financial Via Negativa doesn't seek to make you rich fast, but to prevent you from going bankrupt. Pay everything off. Aim for zero debt. It is the only true freedom. Second, subscriptions. These are the vampires of your bank account. Netflix, the gym you don't go to, duplicate insurance, SaaS software. It is death by 1,000 cuts. Print your statements from the last 3 months. If a service is not vital or used daily, cut it. Wealth is also what doesn't leave your pockets. Third, social subtraction. It is hard but necessary. Remove the toxic entourage. If you are surrounded by people who complain without ever acting, jealous people, or people who see problems in every solution, they drain your vital energy. Run from chronic complainers. You don't need to justify yourself. Apply the maxim, never complain, never explain. Distance yourself silently. Prefer solitude to company that drags you down. And yes, we are intensely social creatures, so keep contact with good people. Don't isolate yourself completely. Just separate from the toxic ones. And fourth, remove clutter. Your physical environment reflects your mental state. A cluttered desk is visual noise. A closet full of just-in-case items is stored mental load. The rule is simple. If you haven't used it in a year, maybe you don't need it. Throw it away, donate it, sell it. Clearing out your home means making room to think. You cannot build something solid on cluttered foundations. To finish, let's apply Via Negativa to your decisions and your career. The principle is a lesson in humility. Stop trying to be smart. Just be content with not being stupid. It is much easier and much more profitable. Most great successes don't come from a stroke of genius, but from the absence of grave mistakes over time. Like in amateur tennis, the winner isn't the one who hits the most winning shots, but the one who hits the ball into the net the least often. First, remove the risk of ruin. This is Taleb's golden rule. Survival is the prerequisite to success. Systematically remove any activity that has a small chance of taking you out of the game permanently. Driving too fast, riding a motorcycle without protection, investing with excessive leverage. Whatever the potential gain, if the risk is game over, we don't play. To win, you must first not die. Second, remove the illusion of stability. Beware of situations that seem perfectly calm and stable on the surface. The Christmas turkey is fed every day by the farmer. For the turkey, life is beautiful. The weight curve is growing up. The risk seems zero until the day before Christmas. In your career, remove total dependence on a single source of stable income that can disappear overnight. It is false security. Prefer a life with small variations, small regular stressors like several clients, several projects that keep you alert, rather than an artificial security that makes you vulnerable to the slightest shock. This is a subject that could be an entire video on its own. Finally, remove buzziness. In the modern world, being buzzy is seen as a status symbol. It is a mistake. Being constantly busy means you have no margin for error. You are fragile. At the slightest unforeseen event, your schedule explodes. Warren Buffett and great thinkers have empty calendars. They remove useless actions to save their energy for the few decisions that really count. Do not confuse motion with progress. Remove meeting without an agenda. Remove the need to answer emails instantly. Reclaim the right to boredom and inaction. It is in these moments of emptiness, when everything has been subtracted, that real ideas emerge. The Via Negativa is not a boring life. It is a life of refinement. It is the courage to say no to the noise in order to say a true yes to the essential. By removing toxins from your body, false information from your mind, and fragilities from your environment, you are becoming anti-fragile. You are becoming someone who no longer fears chaos, but who improves because of it. Don't take my word for it. Try it. Choose 2 things from this list, just 2, and remove them completely for 30 days. The void you will create is the most precious resource you have. See you next time.